Hey everybody, this is Shenandoah County Sheriff Tim Carter, and I want to thank you for coming in and joining us today. We have a special guest here. We're going to talk to Brett from LifeSpot, and it's about a service that we're looking at here in Shenandoah County. It deals with school safety. And Brett, I want to go ahead and just if you want to tell us a little bit about you and tell us a little bit about your company. I'll turn it over to you real quick.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me on. And it's unfortunate that we even have to be here talking about this today, but that's where we're at. My name is Brett Titus. I'm the CEO and founder of LifeSpot. But prior to this, I spent 30 years in law enforcement. I'm an Air Force veteran. I spent 27 years with the Denver Police Department, and I had a really unique career. I spent 22 of my 27 years on Denver has a full-time SWAT team. So that's all I did for my whole career. And as you know, Sheriff, that I couldn't even tell you how to write a ticket or do paperwork anymore. Yeah. So that's just where I started. And unfortunately, amongst that amazing career, I've been exposed to, as everybody knows, Colorado, it just seems we're plagued with these active killer situations, and being in the thousands of tactical operations and several hundred critical incidents, I started to see the same challenges, the same problems over and over and over again when it came to these active killers. And that's where I came up with LifeSpot and went ahead and built it and turned it on. So that's where we're at.
Okay. Well, can you tell us a little bit about LifeSpot and what it does? How does it work?
Yeah, you bet. So basically, it's a simple phone app. And when I use the word simple, that's key. Because in a crisis, we can't have complicated things. We can't have a multitude of buttons. You can't have a bunch of choices that are going to be irrelevant in that crisis. So LifeSpot is basically a phone app that solves all 7 major challenges that someone will face in an active killer event. So, for example, the number one thing we do is speed up that response time. So when somebody activates LifeSpot, there's an active killer on the campus, somebody activates it, it goes to everyone that needs to know in less than 6 seconds. So the needs to know is it goes to 911, it goes to the deputy or the cop on the beat, it goes to the command, it goes to fire EMS, and even goes to all of the staff, letting everybody know that there's a threat on that campus. So in other words, basically what we've done.
Yeah. So in other words, they don't have to call 911. It just does it automatically once you activate this.
Right. Correct. Yes, sir. To a certain degree, when you use LifeSpot to call 911, it notifies everybody. Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So what is the, if I'm the responding officer or the responding deputy and I get notified of this alert, what do I see as how does it help me as the responding officer?
Sure. So the biggest thing that it does is by the time a dispatcher can even answer the phone and ask the question where that location is, their deputy is already getting an audible alert. That deputy will then open the app and start heading that way before any information can get out via radio. So they are already heading that way. And what they see is the name of the school, the address of the school, and a Google Earth picture of the school with a red shaded circle. And that red shaded circle is the GPS location of that person that has swiped the app. So that gives your deputy a better idea of where on that campus that threat was observed, and they can go direct the threat, opposed to having to get there and search which building is it. It's one address, but several buildings. So we are pinpointing that down to about 25 meters. Right.
I was going to ask about location accuracy. So basically it just shows you within 25 meters where that phone is.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Now, here's a question. I mean, it is, with kids and cell phones and everybody else in cell phones, would there be a risk of any kind of a cell disruption once this thing is activated? Because, we've had a couple of these where we had one swatting call here, and those things take a life of their own, and everybody's on the phone. Everybody is responding to the call. would there be any disruption like that, or this is an app talking to an app, basically, right?
Yeah. So, great question. So yes, that's one of the challenges that we solve is the community to law enforcement, those that need to know.
Right.
And our app works on such a low bandwidth, it's app to app,
right.
that we've done testing up to, it's 5,000 users can use the app at one time, and it's less bandwidth than one person watching a YouTube video. So that's the key and not to mention the communication piece, as you know, Sheriff, that these things, how many dispatchers will you have on any given day, and how many people will attempt to call 911?
Right.
So the communication piece, besides just the bandwidth, it's the manpower issue. Back in 2013, unfortunately, again, we lost Claire Davis at Arapahoe High School here in Colorado.
Right.
And I remember responding down to that, and there were hundreds, if not actually thousands of kids that called 911 when that shot rang out. Right. And then the kids got 911. It was busy signals, or it bounced from tower to tower. So then they called parents, and then the parents called 911, and that's how the system actually just shut down. There's no more people there to take those calls.
Right.
So we have to anticipate that. Right. And now with LifeSpot, that chatting capability, and again, we call it a chat. It's not text to 911. It's going to law enforcement command instantaneously. Right. And providing you guys with the information that you need, such as I'm injured or the shooter's outside my doorway, those types of things.
Right. How much time would it take, let's say, if we were going to implement this in Shenandoah County, how much time would it take to train and to set up this logistically, so that we would get it, so it could be implemented? What kind of timeline are we looking at?
So one, it would be depend on the numbers, and two, depend on the coordination within your county. So when I say that, the actual downloading of the app takes a minute. Then it takes the user through an in-app tutorial. So it makes them press every button. It makes them communicate, again, during a drill. Mm-hmm. It'll also send audible alerts so they understand what that sounds like. And then at the end of that, there's a 12-question test, and then they're ready to go live. So it really doesn't take that long of a time to get activated. And then we also provide continual education videos to the organization, so people can keep up on this all the time, and they can always go back into their app, into the tutorial, and watch it again and play with it again and move all the pieces around. So it's really a pretty simple process. So we can do thousands and thousands of users in less than a couple hours.
Do you think it's better to have all teachers with the capability of having this, all school staff, or just a group of administrators? I mean, what's your experience with that?
Again, great question. So I'm gonna preface it with this. I own this company, and yes, I do sales, but I'm not a salesman. I am a cop. I'm always going to be a cop.
Right.
But true safety is, the more eyes and ears we have, the better.
Right.
So I've had some schools ask me that. They say, well, what if we just give it to our leadership?
Right.
And I say, hey, that's great, but what if it's your newest of teachers walking into the parking lot and sees that rifle coming out of a trunk in front of the school, and there's nothing that teacher can do about it? So the more eyes and ears, the better. The lunch lady, the maintenance, the groundskeepers, anyone that is at that location frequently that could possibly set off the alarm to save lives, I think should have it.
Right. Okay. Now, I think when my staff were meeting with you, I know you've done a couple of meetings with my senior staff and with law enforcement leaders in the county and school officials. There's an obligation for the first year. Is that the way this would work? Is like if Shenandoah County were going to buy into this, they would have to pay the first year up front, and then after that, I guess it's like per user, per month cost. Is that how you kind of break this out?
We can, so that portion of it we can do either way. That generally is, you're right, that is how it works. But It is a per user per month fee,
Right.
And everybody generally pays just a year contract, but that contract will be honored at that same price for the next year. So
Right.
we're not going to just turn around and up prices after a year. So everything will stay the same per that contract. It just depends on if they want to pay monthly or pay annually.
Right. Yeah. Not to get too far down on the weeds with bureaucracy, and sometimes it just takes. Sometimes you just got to go ahead and make a decision and move on. I mean, it just sounds to
Yes,
me
sir.
like this would be something simple that the sheriff's office could actually initiate, but I would hope that the school system would actually pick it up after that first year. So.
Yeah. And you know what? That's, again, I applaud you. That's very cool to have, a sheriff, someone in your position that is so concerned about the county. Of course, that's your job, but you'd be surprised on how far in the back burner school safety really is. Now, these things are happening day in, day out, but I'll be darned, it's budget's already done this year. We'll get to it next year. And it has to be forefront. We are seeing too many of these. So again, sir, I applaud you for looking forward and thinking about what the real problems are, and school safety has got to be on the top of everybody's list.
Right. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. We are, we're a little disappointed this year. We were trying to get some school safety initiatives in this year's budget, and county administration didn't think it was a priority this year. So I'm there.
Wow.
I understand what you're talking about. But we do. It's a process, and it's just this constant, like you say, trying to put it up front, because I think people want to put it on the back burner, and then you find out that it's too late at that point.
Exactly.
So I guess, I'm asking this from my personal understanding. So if I wanted to do this, if I thought I could make this happen initially, and we did it, we got it going for next school year. If for some reason the county or the Shenandoah County Public School System decided they didn't want to continue this, then basically we would only be obligated for that first year, correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I needed to know that.
Yeah, it's again, no obligation. We have thousands of users now across the country, 5 different states. We get testing done on the system almost daily, several times a week.
Right.
And once people, and that's the other thing, the schools and your department will have capability to run drills whenever you want. So you can play with this thing, you can practice, you can do however you want.
Right.
And once people see it, play with it, and get comfortable with it, the amount of positive feedback we've had, we are on we're a little over 2 years now that we went live with this, and we are 100% retention rate. Every one of our clients said, yeah, we have it. We're used to it. It works great. Why would we get rid of it now? So we're real confident that once they see it, once they play with it and test it and drill it, then it'll just be a part of daily life. Just kind of like 911 has become just 911. Everybody knows it, and I think LifeSpot's going to be in that same realm.
Right. And it's my understanding, because I think we set up, I know we've talked to the private schools in Shenandoah County, and I know there's an interest there as well. And also, I think we reached out to daycares in Shenandoah County. So,
Yes,
so I guess my point in making that comment is if we did this, we would be able to allow those entities to sign on as users, right? I think I'm right about that.
Yes, correct. Yes, sir. Yep. No, you were. Right. Yeah, we have Kendall County in Texas. They actually, I will give them credit. This is their brainchild. What they did is same approach that you're looking at, is putting it in the entire county. And when I say the entire county, it's of course amongst the sheriff's office, and then the other municipalities within, all the police departments in. And then we are in every school, every daycare. We're in the senior living center. We're in the a domestic violence center. We're in every city building. So it's a county approach that will get the responders there faster.
Right. Yeah, and what I think a lot of people don't understand is like the law enforcement entities, they can access this. They're not the ones. It's not they're accessing it for free. It's my understanding. So
Correct.
Any agency can sign on to this and get the app. And if there's a user, i.e. like you say, a county office building or a daycare in their particular jurisdiction, then that's the organization that's actually paying the monthly fee. But the law enforcement entity is actually just accessing all of this, and they can, from town to town, county or countywide, have access to it. So I think I understood that way. Okay.
Yep, absolutely right.
All right. Well, I mean, Brett, I really appreciate you spending a few minutes with me this morning. Anything else you want to talk about, or did I miss anything about LifeSpot?
Again, it's just one of those things. It's a terrible thing we have to talk about, but that separates us from preparing for things and not preparing. So the more we can talk about it and bring it to the forefront and put it in the forefront of everybody's mind, that's going to help us to protect our children and our communities, because we're talking about it. So I appreciate you getting me on and talking about it. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, again, Brett, I don't think to me it's a no-brainer. I mean, if there's a piece of technology out there that we can implement, that we can even if we're not that familiar with it, other than what we've seen and heard, we need to go ahead and give it a shot and see if it can be helpful. It sounds to me like, from what I've been told from other agencies and other jurisdictions, this has been, this is a decent initiative that we should be looking at, and so I'm gonna see what I can do here to see if I can make this happen. Okay.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you, brother. You be safe. And any other info that anybody needs, it's LifeSpotApp.com. They can reach out and I can answer them any questions directly. So I appreciate you, Sheriff. Take care.
Okay, LifeSpotApp.com. All right, Brett. Hey, thanks so much for joining us today. You can find, just for my listeners, you can find this and all of our podcasts on my YouTube channel. That's at Timothy Carter. While you're there, please make sure you subscribe and smash that like button that you like the show. Again, this is Sheriff Tim Carter at The Source. Have a great day.